My name is Kevin Mack. I'm the head instructor at Bucks County Krav Maga. We are just going to do a quick little video about something that I see come up with students when I've been training students, or even when I was training with my instructor, things that I would see other students just kind of have little issues with. These next videos I shoot, some of my videos are longer, sometimes they're a little small, sometimes it's a technique, sometimes it's a concept. The next couple of videos I shoot are going to be those little tiny things that I see kind of are like stumbling blocks for students. This is one of them, and it's really just the transference of weight for specific things that we do in Krav Maga. Now, my instructor, Alan Feldman, is shorter than me, he's a little bit smaller than me, but when he would grab me for knife defense, gun defense, I was feeling all his weight. I could not resist it. I was feeling a lot of pressure on my hands. Same thing when I trained with Eyal Yanilov for the first time. I had seen Eyal on videos. I heard a lot of great things about him, but watching him on videos because he's tall and thin, you don't feel that he's that strong or that aggressive. But when I trained with him doing gun defense, as soon as he grabs your hand for the gun defense or he grabs the gun, you're feeling pain and discomfort like that. And a lot of that comes from just a certain amount of pressure they use, but the weight transference they use. And I'm going to show you where people have issues with it, and it's just one way people can practice it to kind of work on it. For instance, when we do gun defense. Now, the gun defense, we redirect, we control, and then we attack. Now, just in case you can't see it that close. My hand placement on the gun defense, we try to punch to the hip as much as possible here, doesn't matter. But I don't want my elbow between him and his body. I want it to the outside. If it's here, lift up with your elbow, he can lift up my entire body. But if it's here, try to lift up, he has to lift all my weight with it. But I'm not being extended. I'm not leaning out so he pulls back. You know, I'm not here. And I'm not pushing all my weight down so he can lift up. It is just a slight weight transference. All right? Sometimes people will look at my instructor like, oh, it's the Alan Feldman tippy toes, you know. I'm not really on my tippy toes and I'm not being extended. It's just slight little power, a little bit of pressure. And it's subtle. And it's going to be one of those things that's hard to visualize or feel on video. But you also see this with knife defense as well. And with knife defense and gun defense, it's equally important to control the weapon. Gun is dangerous, but it's dangerous in one direction. Knife, you're controlling the hand, not so much the weapon. But the knife can slash back, you know, it can stab, it can slash. I want to have full control of that before I get my hands on it. So if I am redirecting my knife and slapping the hand down, I want him to feel all my weight on that knife hand right there. So that's my connection point. And I'm transferring the weight onto his wrist so that he is not lifting up the strength of my arm, but of my entire body. Now, there's just a way to practice that. I see a lot of people have issues with that. They do the knife defense, and they're kind of separate. They don't have this connection. And grapplers, you know, I'm talking to people who already know about how to transfer their weight and hold people down. But here, if you've never done it before, you realize how important it is. So now that person has to lift up your entire body. This is just one little way you can practice it. Here I'm using a stick with a partner. But you can use a chair, you can use a towel rack. All you have to do is here, I am just holding the stick. And now, especially if I'm leaning, I'm holding it here, I'm just leaning slightly onto it. If you were Jim, if you're my partner, you here, lift up. He doesn't feel much weight here. Relax. Now, shifting, I lift up, lift up. Now, if you see my body when I do that, here I'm holding the stick. I'm not putting any weight on him. Lift up, and he can lift up my entire arm. Now you're not seeing too much of a discernible difference in my body movement. Try to lift up, but all my weight now is being transferred to my hand. And it's just subtle. It's a slight lean almost. I'm not overextended to where if he pulls back, I'm losing my balance. All I am doing is shifting. It's like I'm moving and leaning like the contents of a suitcase are all shifting to my hand to where all my weight is on his hand or the gun. So my structure, my posture, my balance is all proper, but now he's feeling weight. So this is something that's very important in Krav Maga that you can do and you can practice just leaning up. You're bored, you're in an elevator and there's a railing, just shift your weight and lean on it. And you'll start to feel how much power and control you can have transferred just to your wrists. So when the time comes to do gun defense and you're redirecting the line of fire and you're controlling the weapon and attacking, he is now feeling all your weight on the gun hand. Just like training with AL, with my instructor, it is going to be painful for him. He is not going to feel like he can withdraw his gun and take it back, because that's his initial goal, is to want to get it back. And then you do the disarm. So it's just one little concept, one little thing, common thing people always have issues with, not being able to put their weight on it and control it. Just something you can do at home. Just lean on a chair, lean on a railing, and just slightly shift your weight onto your hand and onto the object you're trying to control. Thanks. My name's Kevin Mack, Krav Maga Nation. We have schools in Philadelphia, Bucks County. You can check us out at philadelphiakravmaga.com and our new website that's coming out soon, which is kravmaganation.net. Thanks.